Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. My Fairy Loot Feyre and Rhysand Starfall mug. And today's video is going to be my November TBR. Everyone knows how this goes, but let's just talk about the things that I'm hoping on reading in November. I feel like I'm gonna have 6 books on here, but I feel like the past couple of months I've been wanting to be more of a mood reader. So I might leave a lot of grace in November to just kind of read whatever I'm feeling, because sometimes we just all need that, you know? But as of right now, these are the books that I'm planning on reading. The first couple are going to be anticipated releases that are coming out in November, but then we have a smattering of other things. So the first one I'm hoping to read in November is Violet Thistleweight is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krumholtz. And I've talked about this in my anticipated releases like I just mentioned, but I'll read the kind of first sentence of the synopsis since we went over it more in depth in the anticipated releases video, but it says, a powerful plant witch and a grumpy alchemist must work together to save their quiet town from a magical plague in this debut cozy fantasy romance about starting over, redemption, and what it really means to be a good person. So she was a villain, but she's not anymore, and she's trying to start over in this cozy town, and she's a plant witch. I think that's so cool. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. It sounds like if it's done well, I will love it. So hopefully I do love it. And the next one that I hope to read is Brimstone by Callie Hart. This is book 2 in the Quicksilver series, the Fae and Alchemy series. And I really loved Quicksilver. I was kind of surprised. I thought I would like it, but I didn't think I would love it, and I loved it. There was a couple, gripes I had with it, but I think I gave it 4.5 stars. So it was still, I really liked it, really loved it. And I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in this book, because a lot of stuff was opened up and happened in Quicksilver at the end to where it's kind of a little weird, but just a little bit of uncharted territory. So I really want to know how it's going to develop and kind of the problems that they're going to have to overcome because of it. So I'm very excited. Obviously, I can't really tell you what it's about if you haven't read the first one, but excited to see where the story takes us. And then I would also like to read as kind of like a reprieve, a little quick contemporary romance situation, Secret Nights and Northern Lights by Megan Oliver. This is another one I mentioned in my anticipated releases video, and it's a journalist and a photographer that was her really good friend previously, but they'd had a falling out, get teamed up on this assignment to go to Iceland to try to document the Northern Lights. And again, the tiny little sentence synopsis is childhood best friends and first loves are reunited on a make-or-break work trip to Iceland with old feelings coming to the surface in this charming romance from debut author Megan Oliver. I love that it's just a cute little contemporary romance, but the most exciting part for me is that it's set in Iceland and Northern Lights focused. I'm very excited about that, and I can't wait to read something set in Iceland. And then the next one I would like to read, this has kind of been on my radar for a while, but in the past month or so, couple of months, I've been really, really wanting to read it, but I already had my TBRs planned and just reasons. But I really want to read Anathema by Carrie Lake. It sounds really good, and I just have been wanting to get to it. And this is book 1 in the Eating Woods. I believe book 2 is coming out, but it's coming out digitally. I think the print and the audiobook version are coming later. So I'm going to have to wait, I think, to pick that one up. But it says, from the author of Nocticadia comes a spellbinding gothic dark fantasy about a shunned woman who is forced beyond the mortal realm's forbidden boundary into a terrifying world of cursed souls and grotesque creatures. Only the banished know what lies beyond the woods. There are whispers about what lurks in Witchnell, the forest where sinners go to die. The villagers call it the Eating Woods because what's taken is never given back. Only those who have lost their senses would dare go near it, or the banished. Maven Bronwick knows better than to breach the misty labyrinth of trees, but a tragic turn of events compels her beyond the archway of bones to a boundary no mortal has crossed before. One that cloaks a dark and fantastical world that's as dangerous as it is alluring. It's there that he dwells, the cursed lord of Eidolon. The one tasked to keep her hidden from the magewood that seeks to crucify her in the name of the arcane prophecy. Zavander Ryden, known to his prey as the Scorpion, is the coldest, most calculated assassin in all of Athria, and he'd sooner tossed his feisty ward to a pack of vicious fire drakes than keep her safe, if only he could. Maven's blood is the key to breaking his despised curse and vanquishing the slumbering evil in Witchnell. Unfortunately for Lord Ryden, fate has other plans for her, the irresistible little enchantress. and his growing obsession with her threatens to destroy everything, including himself. Anathema is a full-length gothic dark fantasy and the first book in this duology. Perfect for readers who read a plot-heavy and atmospheric story with a unique magic system, slow-burn romance, and a touch of horror. I love slow-burn romance. I love plot-heavy fantasy worlds. I can hang with some gothic if it's done right. So I'm very excited about this. And I've heard good things about it. I know Becky from Bex Reads has really enjoyed this book, and I think I will as well. So hoping I can get to it. Another one that's been on my TBR for forever, like just my overarching TBR, that I just really want to get to because I just want to know, because I've been wanting to read it for years and I just haven't. And that's The Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole. This is book 1 in the God and Monster series, and I have the indie edition that I got secondhand from somebody, I think. Yeah, it came with this little thing and this little thing. I think I bought it secondhand. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. And I think, now, why not now? Why not now? I don't remember what it's about at this point because it's been so long, so let me see. There's a tiny little synopsis on the back of this one, and it says, "For 1,000 years after the gods' war, the Etherworld has known peace. But soon that too will change. An old enemy driven by revenge slowly builds an army behind the scenes. Temples are being ransacked in search of an item long lost, and enemies since the dawn of time must put aside their differences if they have any hope for survival." It's very vague, but I know that it's got, I know it's a romance. I think there's dragons in here, or shifters. Yeah, and if you look it up on Goodreads, there's a little bit more of a synopsis, so let me read a little bit of that. 1,000 years ago, Diana gave up her life in the desert to save her dying sister. She called upon anyone who would listen, not expecting a monster far worse than any nightmare to answer. Now she does what Caden asks, even if that means securing an ancient relic from the very creatures that hunt her. A king thought long dead and long forgotten. In the old world, his name was Samkia. In the new world, it is Liam. But one title remains, true throughout time. He is the world ender, a myth to his enemies, and a savior and king to those loyal to him. After the gods' war, he locked himself away, hiding from the world. He denied his crown and responsibilities, leaving the very ones who needed him most to deal with the fallout of the death of their homeworld. Now an attack on these he holds dear sends him back to the one realm he never wished to visit again, and into the sights of an enemy he thought imprisoned eons ago. Now enemies older than time must put aside their differences and work together. I've heard amazing things about it. I feel like the synopsis is so vague, which I'm hoping means that it's pretty plot heavy and has a lot of things that are going to be going on in the story. I kind of want to know what you think if you've read it, but I also just have been desperately wanting to read this, So, I really hope to get to the Book of Azrael. Let's see if I do. And then lastly, I'll do a shelf pick and just hope that I get it done because I've been really bad about this. Well, one just fell out. Okay. And I got Demon Court by Emma Hamm. So let me grab that real quick. Okay. So this is her, 7 Deadly Demons series. I started collecting these, but I haven't read any of them, so I should probably get to that. This is the first one, and I believe he is he Lust? Yes. So this one's following the Demon King Lust. He is the temptation, she will not be tempted. As a child, Celine was left at the foot of the White Tower, given to the sorcerer to train those with magic. Her life has been spent honing her powers, but she can't fully join their ranks until she fulfills a single impossible task. Bring the Demon King, Lust, to his knees. Lust has ruled his kingdom for centuries. He's the reason his people live without remorse and indulge in their senses. Life is mundane and boring until he runs into a dark-haired enchantress with eyes the color of the night sky. With one whispered sentence, she changes everything. I'm the beginning of something new. Suddenly, the weight of centuries consumes him. He tries to use his power of lust to sway her, bend the emotion, manipulate it, use that lust to control anyone he wants. But she's a blank slate. He can't feel anything inside her mind but ice and defiance. All it took was one sentence to get into his castle, even last to capture his attention, and suddenly the weakest of the sorceresses finds herself in the game of wits she has to control. A game of deceiving a demon while desperately trying not to fall in love with a creature who cannot feel anything but lust. I really like Emma Hamm as a person, and I really have enjoyed her Dragons of Umbra series, but I haven't really read much of her other works, but I kind of like her as an author. So I'm curious to get to the Demon series because I think this is one of her first spicier series. I think before that it wasn't really. So been meaning to get to this and I should read it. So let's see if I do. Also, a part of me that's just like, I have a lot of NetGalley books that I need to get to, so I might go rogue and just do NetGalley books. We'll see. This is what I think is going to happen, though. I would love to know any books that you're planning on reading in November, or if there's ones you're waiting to release. So if you want to leave in a comment down below, that would be great. If nothing comes to mind and you want to leave a comment anyway, give me the fire heart emoji. Thank you so much for watching, but that is it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.